ever get that feeling, where you've got this like incredible idea, something you're just itching to start, but then I don't know, doubt kind of creeps in.
Oh, absolutely.
It can be like anything, a business you want to launch or a creative project or even just, a healthy habit you've been meaning to finally start.
Yeah,
Starting can be like the toughest part, but what if there were a way to make it easier, to take that spark of inspiration and turn it into something real?
right.
Well, you're in luck because today we're diving deep into The Art of the Start 2.0 by Guy Kawasaki.
And even before we get into the nitty-gritty here, it's important to note that this book, it isn't just for entrepreneurs, with these like multi-million dollar dreams.
Right.
The principles we're going to unpack today, they're actually surprisingly universal. Whether you're dreaming of building the next big tech giant, or if you simply want to finally master that sourdough recipe, the steps to getting started are, well, they're remarkably similar.
That's what's so cool about this deep dive. It's for everyone. Speaking of Guy Kawasaki, he's kind of a big deal. He was the chief evangelist at Apple.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Talk about knowing how to launch a product.
For sure.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's set the stage here. Our mission today is to really distill the most, I guess you could say, actionable advice from Kawasaki's book, the stuff that you can use to actually get your idea off the ground.
Exactly. Think of it as your cheat sheet for turning those what-ifs into I dids. So are you ready to turn your dreams into reality?
Let's do this. Okay, so one of the first things that really jumped out at me from the book was this whole idea of, and I'm going to quote here, making meaning, not money.
Ah, yes. It's
Mhm.
not just about chasing profits. It's about starting with a why. Kawasaki argues that if your venture is rooted in a genuine desire to make a positive impact, to solve a real problem for people, then, well, the money will follow.
Hold on, hold on. Are we saying profit doesn't matter?
Not exactly. It's more about the order of operations.
Yeah.
Think of it this way. People are much more likely to get behind something, to support something, if they actually believe in the underlying mission. And that goes for investors, for customers, even your own team.
Okay, I'm starting to see where you're going with this. So instead of saying, I'm starting a business to make $1 million, you're saying, I'm starting a business to solve this problem because it really matters to me, and I think it matters to a lot of other people too.
That's the idea. It's about tapping into that deeper motivation.
Makes sense. Now, Kawasaki actually gives some pretty concrete tools to help you kind of figure out your why. He poses these 3 key questions that, well, everyone should ask themselves no matter what they're starting.
And these questions, they're gold. They force you to get laser focused on what you're actually trying to achieve.
Yeah.
The first question is this: what problem are you solving?
Okay. That one seems pretty straightforward. If you're starting a business, it's about identifying a need in the market. But what if it's not a business? What if it's more personal? Like, I don't know, learning to play the guitar.
It still applies. Even with a personal goal, there's usually some underlying problem that you're trying to solve. Maybe you're feeling kind of uninspired and you want a creative outlet, or maybe you just want to challenge yourself and learn something new.
So even learning a new hobby is about solving a problem. I like that. It makes the whole like starting thing feel less, I don't know, daunting. Okay, so what's Kawasaki's second question?
The second question is, how is your solution different or better? And this is where you start to differentiate yourself. It's about understanding your unique value proposition.
So if we're sticking with that guitar example, this is where I'd ask myself, what's special about my approach to learning guitar? Am I going to focus on a specific genre, or am I going to use a unique learning method?
Exactly. It's about identifying what sets you apart.
Got it. And the third question, don't leave us hanging.
All right, all right. The third question is, who are your customers and why will they care?
Okay, this is where I get a little lost. If my venture, so to speak, is just me learning guitar, who are my customers?
In that case, your customer is yourself. But it's still about understanding your audience. What motivates you? What are your goals? What kind of progress is going to keep you engaged and excited about learning?
Wow, I never thought of it that way. So even when it's a personal goal, understanding your, quote, customer can really help you tailor your approach for, maximum success.
Exactly. It's about aligning your efforts with your own needs and motivations.
Okay, so we've got our why kind of figured out. We've answered Kawasaki's 3 key questions. What's next on our journey to launching something awesome?
Well, now that we've got, a solid foundation, it's time to ditch the corporate jargon and embrace something a bit more, I don't know, punchy.
Okay.
Kawasaki, he suggests swapping out those like long, convoluted mission statements for a mantra.
A mantra, like something you'd chant during yoga.
Not quite,
Yeah.
but you're kind of getting at the essence here.
Okay.
It's about distilling your core values and purpose into a short, memorable phrase, something that really captures the heart of your idea and can serve as a guiding principle.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me an example, something concrete I can, wrap my head around.
All right, think about Nike. Instead of some, drawn-out corporate mumbo-jumbo, imagine their mantra is simply authentic athletic performance. Just those 3 words, they pack a powerful punch, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
They speak to their commitment to athletes, their dedication to quality, really their entire brand ethos.
Wow, you're right. It's concise, it's memorable, and it really does capture the essence of what Nike's all about. So how do I come up with a mantra for my idea? Do I just sit around and meditate until something profound pops into my head?
It doesn't have to be that mystical. Think about the core values that drive your idea. What are you passionate about? What problem are you solving? What feeling do you want to evoke in your audience? Once you have a good grasp of those elements, try playing around with different words and phrases. Keep it short, keep it snappy, and just true to your vision.
Okay, so it's about capturing the essence of your why in a few powerful words. I like it. It feels way less intimidating than crafting a whole mission statement.
Exactly. And the beauty of a mantra is that it can serve as a constant reminder of what you're working towards. It's like your North Star, guiding you through the inevitable, ups and downs of bringing your idea to life.
Okay, I'm sold on the mantra. It's definitely going on my to-do list. But let's be real, a killer mantra is just one piece of the puzzle, right?
You got it. You need to be able to communicate your idea effectively.
Mm-hmm.
And Kawasaki, he has this brilliant framework for doing just that. It's called the 120-30 rule.
Ah, yes, the famous 120-30 rule. I've heard whispers of this, mythical rule in the entrepreneurial world. Break it down for us. What's the magic formula?
It's deceptively simple. 10 slides, 20 minutes, 30-point font. Kawasaki argues that no matter how brilliant your idea is, if you can't communicate it clearly and concisely, you're going to lose your audience.
So it's about respecting people's time and attention spans.
Yeah.
Don't bore them to death with endless slides and tiny text.
Precisely. The 10 slides, they force you to distill your message down to its essence. The 20 minutes, well, that keeps you from rambling on and on.
Right.
And that 30-point font, well, that ensures that everyone can actually read what's on the screen.
Okay, so this rule, it's clearly designed for pitching a business idea to investors. But can it be applied to other situations? What if I'm just trying to, convince my friends to watch a movie with me or get my family on board with a new vacation plan?
Absolutely. Think of it as a framework for, effective communication, period. Whether you're pitching a business idea or presenting a project at work or even just explaining something complex to your kids, the principles are the same. Be clear, be concise, and just make it visually appealing.
So it's not just about business pitches. It's about any time you're trying to, I guess you could say, persuade or inform someone. It's about getting your message across in a way that's engaging and easy to understand. I like that.
And don't forget the visual aspect.
Right.
People, we're visual creatures. Whether you're using slides or images or even just body language, think about how you can enhance your message with visual cues.
That's a good point. A picture really is worth 1,000 words. Okay, so we've got our mantra, we've mastered the 1N20-30 rule. Is there anything else we need to know to truly nail this whole starting thing?
There's one more, crucial concept, I think, that's especially relevant for anyone kind of embarking on a new journey. And that's the idea of enchantment.
Enchantment. That sounds a little, I don't know, woo-woo, even for me.
It might sound fluffy, but just bear with me for a second. Think of enchantment as going above and beyond to create a truly positive experience for your audience, whoever that audience may be. It's about exceeding expectations and leaving a lasting impression.
Okay, I'm starting to see where you're going with this. Give me an example, something I can, relate to.
Okay, imagine you go to a restaurant and the service is just incredible.
Okay.
The waiter, he remembers your name. They anticipate your needs. They even bring you a little, I don't know what they call it, amuse-bouche on the house.
Hmm.
You leave feeling valued, appreciated, like you had a truly special experience. That's enchantment in action.
Or what about that friend who throws the most thoughtful birthday parties?
Right.
They always seem to know exactly what you'd love, even down to the smallest details. It's like they've sprinkled a little magic into the whole experience.
Exactly. It's about those little touches, those unexpected acts of kindness that can make all the difference. And it applies to pretty much anything we do in life.
Yeah.
Whether you're building a business or nurturing a relationship or even just interacting with a stranger, putting in that extra effort to enchant can have like a ripple effect.
So, how do I apply this whole enchantment thing to my own idea? I mean, I'm not exactly running a five-star restaurant or planning a surprise party.
It's about bringing that same level of care and attention to detail to whatever you're doing. Think about your target audience. What would delight them? What would make them feel special? How can you exceed their expectations in a way that's authentic and meaningful?
Okay, so it's not about being fake or over the top. It's about being genuine and thoughtful, putting in that extra effort to create a truly positive experience for the people you're interacting with.
Exactly. And that's what creates lasting connections and builds loyalty. It's what makes people want to be a part of your journey to support your idea and to tell others about it.
Okay. This whole enchantment thing is starting to make sense. It's about going beyond the transactional and creating something that feels special, memorable, and even a little bit magical. But let's be honest, starting anything new, it can be pretty scary. What about those moments when things don't go as planned? You know, when we hit a bump in the road or maybe even like crash and burn. I mean, and let's be real, not everything we start is going to be an instant success. There are going
Right.
to be challenges and setbacks and maybe even like some epic fails along the way.
For sure.
How do we deal with that?
That's where Kawasaki's advice on embracing failure comes in.
Okay.
He emphasizes that setbacks are inevitable.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of if, but when,
Right.
The key is to shift our perspective and view these setbacks not as defeats,
Okay.
but as valuable learning opportunities.
Okay. I've heard this whole like failure is a learning opportunity thing before, but honestly, in the moment, it's hard to see it that way.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when you're feeling discouraged and defeated, it's tough to find the silver lining.
I get it. It's natural to feel disappointed when things don't go as planned.
Right.
But what if instead of beating ourselves up, we could approach those moments with a sense of curiosity?
Mm.
Ask ourselves, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this setback to make my idea even better?
So it's about turning that negative energy into something productive.
Exactly.
Instead of like wallowing in self-pity, we use the experience to gain insights and make adjustments.
That's it. Think
Yeah.
of it as a feedback loop. You try something, it doesn't quite work out. You learn from it, you adapt, and you try again.
Yeah.
That's how innovation happens.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, Kawasaki's saying that failure isn't the opposite of success, it's a stepping stone to success.
That's a great way to put it. And it's not just Kawasaki who believes this. Look at any successful entrepreneur or artist or innovator throughout history.
Okay.
They all have one thing in common. They weren't afraid to fail. They embraced failure as a necessary part of the creative process.
That's a really empowering way to think about it. It takes the pressure off having to be perfect right out of the gate.
Exactly. It allows you to experiment, to take risks, and to learn from your mistakes without fear of judgment.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. We talked about starting with why, crafting a compelling mantra, mastering the art of communication, enchanting our audience, and even embracing failure as a stepping stone to success.
It's a lot to process.
It is a lot. So what does this all mean for our listeners? What's the key takeaway?
I think the most important message here is this. You have the power to bring your ideas to life. It doesn't matter how big or small your goal is. The principles we've discussed today can help you turn that dream into a reality.
And it all starts with taking that first step, no matter how small it may seem.
Right.
Start that project you've been putting off. Reach out to that person you've been meaning to connect with. Sign up for that class that's been calling your name.
Yeah.
The world needs your ideas, your passion, and your unique contributions.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And remember, the journey won't always be easy. There will be bumps along the way. But don't let those setbacks discourage you. Embrace them, learn from them, and just keep moving forward. You've got this.
So what are you waiting for? Go make something amazing happen.